There are several sayings in Black American culture that are deeply rooted in survival strategies from slavery and systemic oppression. While these phrases were often meant to protect and prepare, some of them can unintentionally hold us back today. Here are a few. What happens in this house stays in this house. Enslaved people had to keep their struggles, abuse, and plans for resistance secret to avoid punishment. This secrecy became ingrained in our survival tactic. It discourages seeking help for mental health issues, abuse, and family problems, reinforcing cycles of trauma. You have to work twice as hard to get half as much. Black people were historically denied opportunities and had to overcompensate to gain basic recognition. And while it acknowledges systemic racism, it can lead to burnout and the internalized belief that rest or joy isn't deserved. Stay out of grown folks' business. Enslaved children were often punished or even sold for overhearing and repeating sensitive conversations. Parents taught kids to stay quiet to keep them safe. It discourages curiosity, critical thinking, and open dialogue between generations, which can limit knowledge sharing and emotional expression. Don't let nobody see you cry or toughen up. Enslaved people couldn't show vulnerability or they'd be seen as weak or exploited further. This carried into survival-based parenting. It discourages emotional intelligence and makes it harder for Black men and women to express their struggles, leading to unaddressed trauma. Ain't nobody gonna give you nothing. Black people were systematically denied access to land, wealth, and fair opportunities, reinforcing the need for self-reliance. While it encourages independence, it can also create a mindset of refusing help or avoiding collaboration, even when community support is beneficial. Man, that's just the way it is. Many enslaved people were conditioned to accept their suffering as unchangeable. Even after slavery, systems like Jim Crow reinforced the idea that oppression was inevitable. It discourages questioning unjust systems and making it harder to believe in or push for systemic change. Don't be out there airing your dirty laundry in public. Enslaved people had to present themselves as composed and obedient to avoid punishment, even when facing severe abuse. This later evolved as a way to maintain respectability in a racist society. It keeps generational trauma hidden and discourages open discussion about abuse, mental health, or struggles that need to be addressed. Oh, this was my favorite one. You too smart for your own good. Enslaved people who showed intelligence, especially in reading and writing, were often beaten or killed. This led to a culture of discouraging intellectual curiosity for safety. It can make young Black kids feel ashamed of being smart or inquisitive, leading to self-sabotage and underachievement. And while these sayings were born out of necessity and protection, we now have the power to reframe them. Instead of just rejecting these sayings, we can reframe them in a way that honors our history while promoting healing, growth, and success. Here's how. What happens in this house stays in this house. We can reframe that by saying it's okay to seek help. Healing starts with openness. Normalize therapy and mental health discussions. Encourage open, honest conversation within families, and teaching that seeking help is not betrayal, it's strength, are just a few ways that we can break this cycle. We can reword "you have to work twice as hard to get half as much" by saying, work smart, not just hard. Use strategy and connections. We can break this cycle by teaching financial literacy, networking, and passive income strategies. We can encourage balance in teaching that hard work should not come at the cost of our health. Push for fair treatment instead of accepting oppression as inevitable. Stay out of grown folks' business. We can reframe that by saying that kids should be informed in age-appropriate ways. Involve children in family discussions to teach problem solving. Encourage curiosity and critical thinking instead of shutting kids down. And make sure kids feel safe asking questions and expressing themselves within the family. Don't let nobody see you cry. Toughen up. Strength includes knowing when to express emotions. That's how we can say that. That sounds a lot better. We can break that cycle by teaching that vulnerability and emotional intelligence are strengths. They're not weaknesses. Encourage open conversations about feelings, especially for Black men. Model healthy emotional expressions in families and communities. And some of us like to be really direct and blunt by saying, ain't nobody gonna give you shit. We can use a kinder and gentler approach by rewording that and saying, seek opportunities, build community, and ask for help when needed. That last line is really it though. Letting people know that it's okay to ask for help when they need it. Teach negotiating skills, self-advocacy, and resource seeking. A lot of people don't know how to find the resources that they need because they don't know where to look and they're embarrassed to even be needing those resources. We can encourage mentorship and collaboration instead of isolation and reject the idea that we must struggle alone. Community support is key. That's just the way it is can be reworded into saying that things can change and we have the power to change them. That's a positive way of saying that things are not the way that they should be right now. And with that, we can start doing the work. We can educate ourselves on systemic issues and finding the solutions to these problems. Civic engagement and advocacy, and we can empower future generations to challenge the norms. Instead of saying don't air your dirty laundry in public, maybe we can say bring your dirty laundry inside to get it clean. That helps us to establish, one, that it's okay to talk about these things. We need to distinguish between privacy and silence because some issues need to be addressed. We need to normalize healthy discussions about mental health and family struggles and trauma. Community support and therapy are valid options for healing. You're too smart for your own good. Let's try your intelligence is a gift and use it wisely. We can break this cycle for young children by exposing them to role models who embrace education and knowledge. And we can celebrate and encourage intelligence instead of shaming it. By fostering an environment where curiosity and learning are rewarded, we give the space for kids to feel okay with their ability to teach and to learn at the same time. It teaches them confidence and the ability to stand up and to walk firmly in their word and what they believe. The key to breaking the cycle is awareness, intentionality, and action. By recognizing where these sayings come from and adjusting our mindset, we can heal from generational trauma while still honoring the resilience of our ancestors. I'd love to hear from the audience. Which saying have you heard the most, and how do you think we can shift them for the better?